Okay, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has joined us. He's the driver of the number 88 Microsoft Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. Dale Jr. won both of the races here at Pocono last year, and he's driving the Microsoft Chevrolet, and they're the entitlement sponsor for this race on Sunday. Dale, just talk about that, being able to have Microsoft on the car. It's a great partner, and just maybe a little bit about how practice has gone for you.
Yeah, the Microsoft deal is a real awesome sponsor for HMS, and they're really excited about the potential to work with them, and as far as improving on our sim programs and trying to find a way to incorporate the technology and experience they have into what we're doing to help our performance. And it's a great place for it's a great platform for Microsoft to promote its new Windows 10 software. So it's I think it works really well, and hopefully we'll see the benefits of this technology and things we can learn and improve on within the company. Hopefully we'll see the benefits on the racetrack soon. So I'm really excited about it. I've playing video games and racing online and doing all those things for years. I've been through several Windows platforms and software updates, and I've always enjoyed iRacing and all that stuff through Windows. So it's something I'm pretty comfortable with, and definitely a big fan of Xbox and playing our Madden League. So it's a good partnership. Our car came off the trailer today with some issues, and we worked to try to figure that out. We were in race trim when we showed up, and we worked on race trim for about 2 or 3 runs, and really struggled trying to get the car where it needs to be. We've been real competitive ever since they repaved this track. I don't think we've came here and not been quick. So I was a little frustrated with this morning how we showed up, but we think we learned what we were missing for race trim, but we needed to switch over to qualifying to get some opportunities to make some qualifying runs because time was running short, and we felt like that what we did to the car for qualifying is what's going to help our race trim stuff, and the balance of the car came back in our mock runs for qualifying, so that made me feel pretty good, made me feel a little bit better. So they did a great job repairing or improving the bumps and the issues they had over in the tunnel, and especially on the apron when you're out there making qualifying runs in practice, and we're over the temps that we want to see crossing the finish line, so you got to shut the motor off. And that means we need the apron to get around the racetrack. You don't want to be in anybody's way going through the tunnel, so we need to use that apron, and it was unusable until they fixed it. So I appreciate that. Brandon and those guys do an awesome job, always trying to not only give the fans what they want, but make this as good experience as they can for the drivers too. They've always been real good at listening to everybody, and so I got to give those guys a pat on the back because the rest of the racetrack is in such great shape, and it was unfortunate whatever happened, whether it was a bad winter or whatever happened over in the tunnel, but they sorted it out. So we'll see what we have tomorrow. I'm anxious, real anxious to get ourselves back into race trim for those practices tomorrow and see how we can sort our stuff out and see where we really are. I think that we've always ran good here. Shouldn't be any issues. Showed up with some issues. We're anxious to get to work on the car and see where we can figure out where we're going to be and be competitive. Qualifying was a struggle here last time. Very frustrating. Ended up 19th or 20th or somewhere. So hoping that we can improve on that today. There's some guys out there with some real speed. We only made runs on one set of tires, meaning we didn't make a run and then bolt on stickers and make it a second run. We we probably could have run a little faster if we did and put up a better time to give ourselves a little more confidence going into qualifying, but we went ahead and reran on our first set of stickers to see what the balance change was and get a little information there. And so I feel like if we can get in the top 10, I'll be thrilled. I know we really should be qualifying up in the top 3 with all the resources we got and all the talent we got in this team. But the way things have been going, if we can get ourselves in the top 10, I'll be pretty satisfied with that. We can build on that.
Claire, take a question from Claire, and then we'll go to Rick, and then Jeff.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. You guys had a little frustration last week, and I think it was a jack and 2 guns broke on pit road, and I was talking to Greg Ives, some people heard on the radio, and you had said something like, I don't need to hear that from you right now. People thought that initially you were talking to Greg, but Greg thought you were talking to the secondary spotter or something. You didn't need all the information. Yeah. How have you guys handled the frustrating part of it, knowing that that goes with the territory as well, you and Greg, when situations like that happen?
Yeah, we had a guy spotting the TJ, the best spotter in the business, needed a guy to help him last week. So he's on that pagoda and can't be running laps around that thing, spotting the whole racetrack. So we got a guy that helps us at that track on the back straightaway, and it's usually somebody we never worked with before and doesn't know what we do. And he was clearing me down the back straightaway and talked as I was off the gas going down in the corner through turn 3, and I just rather nobody really be talking if I'm turning the wheel. So I was just telling the guy that that's a little more information than I need going into turn 3. We did have a frustrating race. Anytime you don't realize your potential, you're going to be upset. And if we should run, in the top 3 and we run 8th, I'm not very happy about that. So we had a pretty good car. I don't really know how good a car it was, but I think we were good enough to run in the top 5. We had good speed all weekend, and I think we should have qualified better, but we went out so late that when it came time for us to rerun, we didn't have any temperature out of the tires, and for example, the 22 car went out real early in the first round, and he got to sit there for 45 minutes to an hour to cool his tires down. It's a great advantage. And we needed that advantage to be able to showcase how good the car was and qualify a little better. We had some issues on pit road that were out of our control, and those will get resolved. Nobody in the company wants to have that happen, and they'll work on that really hard to fix any issues we have there. So there's no concern for me. This doesn't happen overnight either. You don't fix issues on pit road overnight. A lot of this stuff is, a lot of this stuff takes time, and we don't go into we don't learn all these learn about all these problems in Indian and have them tuned out for Pocono. This might be something that we have to focus on for a couple weeks before we shore it up. But I know that I know that the company's aware of it and is aimed to fix it. So that was kind of frustrating, but we did learn some things about that package that might help us at Michigan. We were so far back in track position that we were able to make some pretty crazy swings on the setup and do some wild stuff that we wouldn't have been able to do for fear of losing track position if we were in the run in the top 10. So we found some things that helped us that can help us at Michigan, but we'll see. It was it's a frustrating weekend. Greg doesn't let that stuff really get to him, so I don't expect that to be anything that lingers on. We all talk about it. We had a meeting Tuesday, and this is something that we do often, especially when there's some concerns about our performance. We had a meeting Tuesday where everybody in the road crew, all the guys that are here today, are in that meeting together, and we all lay everything on the table. Anybody got a problem? Anybody see where we can do better, do different, improve? So there's a lot of communication. We just didn't go home pissed off and then just show up to Pocono hoping everything was fine. We worked all weekend to make sure everybody was in the right frame of mind, and we're still on task. And even though that weekend in Indy didn't go like we wanted, we expect to come to Pocono and run really well.
Go to Rick and then to Jeff.
Hey, Dale, you're the only Hendrick driver with a top 5 finish in the last 3 races. I was curious if there was much communication around the shops as far as what you guys could learn from each other and how sort of get out of the sort of cumulative funk.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is sitting there, I didn't even know that stat. I don't think anybody else in the team or the company really knows that stat. So it's business as usual as far as I can see. I can see. We definitely understand when we don't perform well. Last week was frustrating. I don't think we've been too thrilled over the last month about how things have went for us. So from Rick on down, you get the impression that things need to be better and everybody needs to work harder. So we have meetings every Tuesday. We had that meeting with the team, and then we have a meeting where all the drivers and crew chiefs are together. Rick's there. We have that meeting every Tuesday, and everybody, whether if we all running great, we talk about how to get better, and if we aren't running good at all, we talk about how to get better. So there's always improvements to make, even when things are going good. You see areas where you got to keep working because it cycles in this sport. It seems like the Gibbs guys have found some things, found some speed. They were struggling last year, maybe at the start of the season, but they look really, really good now. They worked hard to get there. We got to continue to work hard. I know that this team and the company knows this, and they will. So we're struggling at the moment due to circumstances and things, a lot of things out of our control, but also as a company, we always want to, we feel like we should show up with the resources we have, be the best team here every week. And if we're second, that's not good enough. If we're 20th, that's not good enough. We're going to work hard.
We'll go to Jeff, Chris, and we'll end with this young lady to the right.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. You touched on it a little bit, but I guess from an outside perspective, it's kind of tough to tell whether a lot of your issues have to do with you guys stumbling, like having really good cars and just not having the finishes, or like if you guys don't have the speed you had earlier in the year with the Gibbs guys. How would you evaluate your overall program as far as where you would need to be once the chase starts and be in championship form?
Yeah, I think you got to be honest with yourself. The Gibbs guys have found more speed. They look like over the last couple of weeks to be a lot stronger, and that we're not on top of the mountain anymore, by ourselves at least. So they found some speed, and they're going. We need to combat that with speed of our own, and I think that I feel I've seen it before where we get some competition, or somebody gets a leg up on us, and our guys go to work and find out where that's at, where that speed is, and where that improvement comes from. And they do a lot of hard work to find it either in the engines or the bodies or what have you. But yeah, we had a bit of an advantage last year, particularly on the engines, and it looks like that a lot of things have changed. But a lot of guys, we could say it's partly because of the rules, but you got to give some of these manufacturers credit. I think they actually just have gotten better, building better motors, and that's just one piece of it. You got all kinds of components and a million moving parts on that car that need to be, that can be somehow better, lighter, faster, and then some that improve performance. And you just got to keep working and keep finding that advantage. It's a never-ending pursuit to build the fastest race car week in and week out, and it looks like right now it's a mad scramble to get ready for the chase. And we seem to, I'd love to be sitting here, 3/10 faster than everybody and fighting only my teammates for the win, but we need to work a little harder to get a little more and be ready for the chase to be able to get out there and compete. Definitely looks like our competition has improved, and so I think we can be honest with ourselves. We definitely aren't where we want to be, but I know I've seen it before. These guys, these guys are working on it every single day, trying to find that that speed and make that difference back up and put ourselves back toward the to having the advantage on the straightaways and in the corners. So I'm not too worried about it because we got the best resources, we got the best boss man, and he doesn't quit and he doesn't settle for second, and he's in there pushing everybody every day.
Go to Chris, and we'll finish with the young lady over to the right.
Chris Knight, CatchNS.com. Dale, Kevin Harvick's running the truck this weekend. He's often been credited for helping the Xfinity program. What are you thinking he can help do with the truck program tomorrow?
He's pretty sharp. He can really pinpoint with real good accuracy where the weaknesses are in a program, whether it's a department such as an engineering weakness or where it's mechanical, where like the engines or the bodies or something like that. He's very good at that, and I think that's what's obviously made him such a competitive driver and a champion in our the Cup Series. So it's awesome when you have a guy like that, he's not only a great driver but very, very good at sort of seeing the whole picture and understanding the team from a distance. He can kind of get back and see it all, he can make things better, in a short period of time, if you trust his opinion. So hopefully he has fun, likes likes the truck and likes the team, and hopefully we don't have a whole lot that we need to improve on. I think that they've done well winning some races right out of the gate, and they've had strong trucks. So I just hope he enjoys the weekend, has fun doing it. Who? Can he? Yeah, he can run as many as he wants. I mean, we don't want to open up another team or anything, and we, again, I've said it before, our main focus is to prepare Cole and get him ready, but we definitely like racing, like being out on the track, and if he can get more opportunities in the truck, it's just going to help that program.
Final question over to the right, Dale.
Dale, Courtney Harrison with WNEP out of Scranton. You got the sweep here last year. Your buddy Martin is up for the opportunity to do it here. I know you'd rather win, but do you have any advice that you'd given him, to prepare to try and get the win again?
No, he doesn't need any advice from me. He's pretty sharp, pretty smart, good talent, and I don't want to help him any more than he's going to be already pretty competitive. So I thought the last trip here we had an equal car to him. The 4 was probably the best. But throughout most of the race, I felt pretty equal on par with Truex. Again, I'm anxious to get in our race trim tomorrow and work on our car. But yeah, I wish Martin all the success in the world because he deserves it. He's a great guy, real asset to the series, and one of the good guys. So you like to see those kind of people enjoy themselves and have success. But we sure would like to get back on track and win some races ourselves. Yep.
Dale, thank you very much. Good luck
Thanks, guys.
driving the number 88 Microsoft Chevrolet.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.